following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys welcome back a familiar voice. They discuss a McDonald serving sweet tea with extra herbs, the best mobile quarterback plays in NFL history, talk NFL Week 10, their current top 5 NBA teams, and as always, they answer listener questions and wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more. Let's get to it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Chill, pool, out, money, West Coast, let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it real. No other way, that's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now, who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, forget out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't Defy Life. Told you. This is Defy Life. I'm gonna let this ride out though. This is Defy Life. This is Defy Life. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Check us out at defylifepods.com and all other podcast platforms. As always, we ask that you hit the like button, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating whenever you listen. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 133, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, wipe your feet, and close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glemph, joined as always by my wonderful co-hosts, Alvin Glemph, Thomas Stevens, and Keon Small. Al, how's it going today, sir? I think I said Keon.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, Al, what's good with you?
Man, all good. Weather temperature done dropped. Just let me know, holidays is here. Keon is back. I feel like it's 2013 again.
Man.
So it's just all good, man. It's good to be back, and always enjoy the show. So glad to be here.
Damn right. Pooh, what's good with you, man?
What's good, man? I pretty much can't call it. Feels great. Got Key. We always ask about Key every now and again. Now Key back again.
That kid is back again.
But he backpacking again.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's great, man. I can't complain. Happy to be here. Let's get it, man.
No doubt. But speaking of which, the prodigal son returns. The long-awaited return of Mr. Keon Small. How's it going today, sir? Welcome back. Oh, he just said, damn, there you go.
Damn. He got suspended.
Already
again?
got suspended.
I was talking. I just had to mute him.
He out of practice.
He rusty. You got to knock that rust off.
No, like before the game, and you get all hyped up. By the time the game starts, you tired.
Right. We're good lather. Oh,
yeah.
man.
It's all good, though. Got to get reacclimated.
No doubt, man. Well, welcome back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we did, everybody out there, we announced a few weeks ago that Money and West Coast will be leaving for their own show, and we had a surprise for y'all. So this is y'all's surprise. It's the original four of the original 5 back in the house. I don't know if y'all even remember Rodney McDaniel. But
wow,
he did it.
Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney did the first 2 episodes, and now he off trying to get free money for a Tesla. So shout out to you, Rodney.
Oh,
y'all see? Yeah, I'm dead serious. Rodney had a GoFundMe to raise money to get a Tesla.
How is he doing?
Cat has $0 last time I saw it.
I'm saying,
I mean,
why would
which
I
is
give you money for a car?
right.
My own damn car.
Exactly. So
Creflo
didn't
did it, so
surprise.
I mean, I was gonna see if his game was the same.
Yeah, I mean, Rodney ain't saving lives, I'm guessing, and changing souls. And his last name ain't Dollar. It's McDonald. So, but yeah. So, for all intents and purposes, this is the originals back. It's like Jay-Z and Jazzo. It's the originals back in the house, man. It feels good to have y'all, man. This feels right. I don't know, no shade to West Coast Money and Yosh and whoever the hell else done been on here since Keon's been on last. So yes, sir. What's been good?
I'm just curious to know, like, what you been up to, Key? Like, you
Right.
been surfing in Ukraine or working a Bernie Sanders campaign?
I actually
or,
did that. That's what we
working
talking.
on the Kanye West album. Like, what you been up to, bro?
Just relaxing my mind, man. Just taking in all what's going on. Same thing y'all do, I guess. Just relaxing my mind. Feels good though.
Good. Welcome back.
Yeah, I've changed positions on so many things I was adamant about. I'm on some Jason Whitlock shit on Kaepernick damn near, but we'll get to that. I guess at some point.
Well, we're going to get into that shortly because that kind of came up after we'd already, settled on topics. But, a little bit of house cleaning before we get into the meat of the show, as always. Everybody go out and check out defylifegear.com. T-shirts. The T-shirt season is over. It is officially hoodie season, as Al mentioned. So go get your hoodies, your sweatshirts, your joggers, jackets, Scullies, all that stuff out there. So check out defylifegear.com. And again, you can check us out on defylifepods.com, where you can listen to all the shows across the network and all in one place. So anything you need, we got you covered. So, Keon, you did mention that you changed positions on Colin Kaepernick, which is kind of timely because it was announced today that Colin Kaepernick will be holding a workout for all teams to attend, a pro day style workout. And then actually after that, it was revealed that the NFL is actually hosting it. And Colin Kaepernick didn't even know it was happening until they announced it.
Yeah.
So, and it's happening on a Saturday in the middle of football season. So all the teams can show up, right? And they're going to send probably their Midwest scout, somebody who lives close to us here in downtown Nebraska. So before we get into that, Keon, what are your current stances on Colin Kaepernick these days?
Well, last time we was on the show, you know how adamant I was. Like I saw his vision, man. He was gonna turn over the collective bargaining agreement. He's going because he could prove the collusion, and then he settles out of court. And it's like, what the fuck? And then he settles with the gag order. Like he can't even talk about it.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Then a few months later, I saw that it was a Chris Carter and the white guy. I can't remember the white guy's name. He does a show. Well, the former Chris Carter, he's what happened to have at Fox.
That he did the show with, right?
Yeah.
Nick Wright is his name.
Nick Wright. They had dinner with Kaepernick, and Kaepernick looked at Chris Carter and said, "I don't know if you saw this." He said, "You think I'll ever get in the league again?" And Chris Carter looked at him and said, "No." And it was Chris Wright. No, Chris. What's the guy name? Nick Wright.
Nick Wright.
Chris Carter and Colin Kaepernick. Nick Wright said he saw the look on Kaepernick's face was like a shock. You know what I mean? But the moral of what I'm saying is, it seemed like, and then I'm listening to Marcellus Wiley, and he has his ways, but it seems like Colin Kaepernick simply, I don't believe now that this was really about no police brutality. I really believe this was about, he was pissed off that they took his starting job away, and then everybody started, he's protesting police brutality. And he kind of went, yeah, that's what I'm protesting. And it kind of just went from there. I really believe that now. Like, he really just wants to play football. And all the other stuff came afterwards. He's not, because you wouldn't have settled out of court. You wouldn't have signed a gag, or you could have really went after this thing. I really think he's just wanted to play football. He was mad that he wasn't going to start. And he just threw a temper tantrum and just sat down during that national anthem. I really believe that now.
All right. You do realize that wasn't the first time he didn't stand for the anthem, though, right?
He didn't. He was sitting for weeks.
Right.
I don't know what you mean. Like, he was sitting for weeks before everybody realized it.
Right.
But it was after he had lost his starting job.
And you do also realize that wasn't the first time he's lost his starting job, right?
Yes, but this was the contract year, and he lost his starting job. Like, putting it all together, it looks like he. So basically, I'm not gonna. I don't really know where you're going. Mm-hmm. Are you saying he sat down because of police brutality? Is why he was sitting? He was really pissed about that?
Well, I'll say that I don't have any reason to say he didn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's like so many things. Like, why now? You know what I'm saying? Like, why throw a hissy fit and say, well, I'm going to sit because this is the third time I got benched. Like, I don't get. So I have no reason. Year. Well, he still had a year left on his contract, and at that point, they could have either released him or he could opt out of his contract. So at that point, he didn't know. At that point, he either could have opted out of his contract or, which was later determined, they told him, we're going to release you if you don't opt out. So at that point, he didn't even know it was the last year. He had another year left on his contract.
A team option?
No, it was his option. He opted out of the contract. It was a player option.
We might have to. I think it was a team option, bro. But
it was a player option. But the team said, if you don't opt out of your contract, we're going to cut you. That's why he was able to opt out. It's a player option.
Okay, so it's the NFL. It was a non-guaranteed year.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, NFL is always non-guaranteed unless you're Kirk Cousins.
No, not really. I mean, you can have so much money built. Okay, I'm not going to debate contracts with you because you know more. I'll give you that. But they could have cut him without paying him any money at the end. That's
right.
We agree on that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, okay. It was like, I'm just saying, like, in the terms of the contract, it's a player option. So
but cut him without paying him.
Right. They could have cut him without him getting it, but it still would have been ramifications to the salary cap and all that. So it would have been dead money laying around. So it's not like a clear cut, is what I'm saying.
But they wouldn't. It wasn't like if you cut Julio Jones right now, where if you or Matt Ryan, or you cut him and you're fucked. 20 million, it wasn't like that. It was like, I think he was 15? No, it wasn't even 15.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, it wouldn't have. Like,
it was 8 or something.
It wouldn't have put him in a bind. No, it wouldn't.
That's my point. So my whole point I'm trying to make is, he realized they wasn't getting a contract, and he was pissed off about it, and he sat down. Okay, and I'm not just taking that. I'm putting it all together with him settling at the end with the gag order and everything. Like, he could have, if he was really about this thing, like what I'm thinking, he could have really went after it. He really wanted to get back in the league, is like the point. Like, this is why I brought up the Nick Wright, Chris Carter thing. Like, he really wanted to play. Like, that's it. Playing is important than anything else. You know what I mean? And I think I just see that now. And I'm not even saying anything other than that. It is what it is, but I see it for what it is now. He's not what I thought he was. He just wants to play football. I thought he was something else.
Yeah, I mean, I get all of that. What I'm saying is, what I was getting at was, I don't think it's an either or with this. I think there's an and in this. So I think he wanted all of that, and he wanted to play football, which, as we've spoken about several times, is probably the right thing. He should be able to voice his opinion and play football. But that is not how shit works out. And so there had to be an either or. So I think going into this, he thought, I'll be able to voice my opinion and I'll be able to play football. And when that got taken away, it totally shifted, like, what he thought he'd be able to do. That's all I'm getting at. Is I don't think he went in thinking, my contract's done, I'm done here, I'm gonna throw a fit. I think he actually had a stance. He took that stance, not realizing that shit, they're gonna take my livelihood away. And when that was there, I think he kind of was like, well, shit, I can't back down completely from this stance. And at that point it was too late.
I think that's what we'll disagree on that. Agree to disagree. I think he didn't have a plan. He was really just pissed about the time. Just like, threw a tantrum. Just sit down and just sit. Pissed off at the team.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying he was happy about it, but I just think that's kind of oversimplifying it. I think there's a both. I think there's an and. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that I guess I tend to think that is both. That that there was a political stance, and he wanted to play football, and he didn't anticipate it going this long. Like I don't think it was one of those things that just kind of evolved. I think it just as it's playing out, you're making choice by choice by choice, and each side is making choices, and this is just where we're at. I don't think when he initially started, he would have foresaw it going this long, paying this much of a price. But I'm not going to doubt the man's sincerity. I mean, not knowing one way or the other, but I would be. He seems like someone who always cared about football, so I'm definitely also going to give him credit that he wanted to play, and that football mattered to him, and that's why he's coming back.
Or he's I don't know, but coming back. I don't know. This looks fishy to me. Yeah.
But I mean, but again, I think that's part of the sincerity. Is he's never hid the fact that he still wants to play football. It's not like he said. It's not like it was his decision to say, "I'm walking away from the NFL because they don't respect black lives." No, he said, "I'm taking this stance, but I still want to play." He's never said he didn't want to play.
I guess what I'm saying, I think the stance came later. As I really believe that now. Okay. I didn't at the beginning, but I really believe it now. And I mentioned Marcellus Wiley. I think he's borderline piece of shit, but I think he's saying too, borderline. He's probably a good dude. But go ahead.
But don't you think if playing mattered so much, like why wouldn't he have caved or given in so that he could play if playing was the motivating factor?
When at what point would he have caved? He never had the opportunity to cave. When he left the 49ers, he didn't play again.
Yeah, but
I guess he could have came out publicly and said,
"Yeah, he could have caved."
Yo, all right, listen, I just want to play football, whether it's publicly or got the word to the team. Look, I just want to play football. You don't have to worry about none of this politics shit. I've had my run. Look, I just want to get in and play some football.
I think that at that point it got too big for him to just now you got a whole bunch of people that's like, yeah, Black Lives, he's fighting for us, and he's like, shit. So then you got this. Then he wants to play football too. So it's kind of like, if he came out and did that, I think he was in a tough position. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think he didn't ever do that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think he was put in a tough position because he never thought that taking that stance, whether you say it was original, that was the original idea or no, he never thought that was basically, literally end his football career.
Yeah,
so
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. But I do agree that there was, we did see, and we talked about this before as well, that there was a complete lack of a plan from the beginning, whether it was intentional or not. There was a total lack of planning. I don't know. Pooh, what are your thoughts?
I guess I'm kind of like with Al on this, and maybe a tad, bit of both. And I just really don't. I guess I really don't look at it and question if that's what he meant, because that's just what I got out of it. I guess as you guys were speaking about, I went back and read over the, contract and saw what he missed out on. But truth be told, he really got fucked out of a lot of his money anyway, how the contract was worded. But I guess I still believe him, though. I mean, I guess I believe that's what he wanted. At least that's what I want to believe anyway.
Yeah, and I have no reason not to. Other than pure speculation. I have no reason. other than what he said, what he's done, the acts of service that he's continuously made. Like, I think he cares. So I have no reason to think that like he's like just dude who's complete propaganda.
No,
And I will say this: if there was one thing that I wish was different, is that he was more vocal and open about what's going on. And I'm not. You don't have to chase the limelight or go into the make it more than what it was and try to benefit from it. But like, I think his lack of openness and having a voice, I think I would have appreciated knowing and learning. And maybe that's just a selfish fan guy that does a podcast in me who, would love to know what's going on in his mind and heart on a consistent basis. But I really just wish that he just spoke up.
I ain't trying to be disagreeable, but I actually understand. Be disagreeable. I understand why he didn't say nothing, because when he tried to say something, everything he said they attacked. It's like they were looking for something to attack. So he just stopped talking, and then they attacked him for not talking. It's just like,
right.
And I get it, and I guess even if you take the Bill Belichick approach of issue a statement and then don't comment on it,
On the Cincinnati.
I'm good with that too. I'm great with that. And if they're gonna say anything, you're gonna talk about the fact that I'm not saying anything else, or you're gonna talk about my statement. But either one, that's what's out there for the record. And I just wish he did something. I mean, something.
And he's done. It's not like, because a lot of things, they're out there for our consumption. So a lot of it is up to us to look. He's got his own website where he openly discusses and announces things that he's done for the community and where his thoughts are on things. Him and his agent recently released a statement to basically clear up the timeline. And then when he, came out a couple weeks ago and fed the homeless, there were still people who had their own opinions and just don't want to listen to facts, and they believe what they want to believe. So at this point, I think he's just, and the entire time, I think he's really just been like, like Keon said, damned if I do, damned if I don't. So I'm just going to do me. And if you choose to like search out this information, it's out there for you to find.
And also, I want to add one thing. The grumblings you heard was my Bill Belichick impression. So.
Oh, okay. Thought you was hungry.
No. That's pretty much it.
You sound just like him. Say that again. Do it again.
Yeah, pass the ball. That's pretty much it.
Oh, shit. That sounds just like him. You should put a sleeveless hoodie on.
And it wouldn't be as cute if they weren't winning. They would be killing them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's only cute because they're winning so many games.
He did that shit in Cleveland. He got fired in 2 years.
He wouldn't have the podium if he was losing, because he wouldn't be there that long.
Right, that's what
I live in Atlanta. Dan Quinn's on the radio every week.
I mean, I think Atlanta's a rare breed where they celebrate mediocrity.
Agreed.
I don't think there's a lot. That's not common, and definitely not in Boston. They're not celebrating mediocrity the way they do in Atlanta.
Man, you rub me wrong when you say that, because I got cold from Boston.
If you mad, you should be mad, because I am throwing shots at Atlanta.
Well, yeah, but
when I came here in 1992, they threw a parade for the Braves for maybe winning first place.
Yeah.
Well, that's you got to go back that far. They did the Hawks when they made to the got swept in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs.
And I'm not sure who it was who clowned the Dominique Wilkins statue. It wasn't me.
It was me. No.
I was gonna throw that back out there, but somebody I know was clowning.
It was me too.
I ain't call my friend of mine. He's cool. He's from Boston, and I can remember when Boston. You got the Celtics, and you got 15 years of nothing, and they was like the Patriots. When the Patriots ever won? Now not all of a sudden, they've done it over 19 years, but they're like the gold standard now. But I can remember, I ain't that old, I don't think. Am I? Shit, the Patriots wasn't shit. Like they was Falcons of the North.
Right, but it's funny. Did y'all see the Patriots fan crying in the stands when they lost to the Ravens?
Look how young he was, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, Patriots,
that's all they know.
Right, that's all they know, and so they don't know anything else. Even you look at the for the Red Sox, Those people 30 and under don't understand that. Yeah. What did they go 80 years without a worse? So, you know, all they had was the Celtics, and even the Celtics through the 90s were garbage.
Land bias, man. That's their history.
Right. And so, you know, it's going to be a harsh reality because those, you know, sports are cyclical. You know, there's you know, so those Patriots fans don't understand that this is a one-off for a team to be that good for 19 years.
It's cyclical unless you're a Jets fan.
Well, I was about to, for most teams, like.
It's been a long cycle for Jets fans.
Yeah, and on both sides, like even just being competitive, like you're right. Like there are certain teams that you know are you Jets, Browns. You know, there's certain teams that just like they are who they are. There'll be little pop-ups every now and then when they have good seasons.
Except or until it's different. Because, like he said, the Red Sox, that was 80 years. Yeah.
That's a long time of not winning. So, 50 years with the Jets? So we still got 30 years before we catch it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, some of those cycles are longer than others. But it is sick. Like,
But Jay, I hear that Steeler arrogant asshole coming out. And can we say, though, that the Patriots are a one-off? Like, even though Brady retires, like it seems like they have something that is like that can go on and on like after Brady. I don't know.
I'll have to judge that once Belichick and Brady are no longer there.
Right, because we don't know that cycle without them.
Correct. Like when you look at the Celtics, they won it with all back. And then they win it again 30, 40 years later. Yeah, with Larry Bird, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. They were Larry.
He was there. Red Auerbach was there.
No. But he's there as a GM.
Yeah,
but you're right.
Casey Jones was the coach.
You're right.
But I mean, even the Celtics, their dynasty ended in the '60s, and they had to wait again into the '80s. Then they had to wait again until the 2010s.
They won one.
And they won one, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but they are consistently competitive since that. So,
fair. And they're 8-1 now, right? Or 9-1.
Yeah, so they're competitive like still. Yeah. So this is the same decade. So it'll come a time when they suck again. But there are teams, and I did hear you mention that Steelers arrogant asshole. I do get that. I acknowledge that because I wasn't really old enough to understand in the '80s when the Steelers sucked. I kind of came on right at the end of that when Bill Cowher first came on. So consistently since that time, the Steelers have been consistently competitive. But again, I think, when Ben Roethlisberger retires, I think there's going to be a point where we like this year, we kind of having to look at it like Ben Roethlisberger retires and we like, I hope we make the playoffs.
Man, see, that's still arrogant though, because I made 2-7 and like 5-4. You're like, man, it's a down year. It's like, man, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have witnessed your team in the Super Bowl since I have.
Like, honestly, the way I'm looking at this Steeler year, like this to me this is gonna be one of their better years, win or lose. I mean,
why you say that?
Because I think what they demonstrated is that we are a franchise that's bigger than its franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And our coach needs to get amazing credit. Our supporting cast needs to get their props. And overall, as a franchise, we persist. And to me, that shows something about your organization. And while they might not go to the playoffs, they might not. And I'm rarely someone who can see moral victories. But when I see what's happening with Pittsburgh, I'm giving a lot of props because I would have never, when Ben went down, I would have never said at this point this is going to be their record.
5-4, yep.
Right.
And they end games, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get more into that. I'll get more into that when we get to what we know, because that's what I was going to talk about. But, but I get you, Al. So before we do get to all that stuff, so did y'all see the dude that went to McDonald's and ordered?
I did see what you said that. Yeah.
All right, so there was a dude that went to McDonald's. I think it was in Maryland. I think it was, But he goes in and orders a sweet tea, light ice, extra lemon. Takes a drink, drinks it on the way home, gets home and realizes he is high as fuck. And doesn't realize what's going on. He doesn't smoke, so he doesn't recognize that he's high, like weed high. And so he opens the cups to look in it, and there's 3 bags of weed in his cup. And so, of course, he takes it back. And, of course, they track down, I guess, did an investigation, track down who put the weed in it. Of course, he lost his job. My thing is, so he thought that was code, like somebody was selling weed out of the McDonald's, like that was their code, light ice, extra lemon, throw some weed in there. But how do you get their money? Like, is somebody just giving out free weed? Like, otherwise, you just paid $60 for the weed, sir, and I mean for the tea, and you didn't think it was abnormal. So I don't get it. But
I smell a rat.
Something not right.
Sounds crazy to me too.
The story ain't
Because my whole what I pick at it is like, okay, let's just think about this logistically. So, were they tea bags of weed? Because typically, 99.9% of the bags of weed that I've seen in my life, heard about, they're concealed, they're closed.
That's what they say.
So if you put them in liquid, how you getting high? If they in a dime bag. I'm not really sure how that works.
It's so many holes in this story.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
And the guy that did it just be like, he put it in himself. Like, I mean, if I'm working at McDonald's, I'd be like, I ain't know what you're talking about. He put that in himself and brought it back to the store.
Right.
Like
so yeah. I don't know. So Pooh, you go to McDonald's and you get your I know you, so you get your ice cold Coca-Cola instead of your tea. How long is it gonna take you to realize that this shit don't taste like it's something different in this Coke?
It's grainy.
Right.
Instant. As soon as I get my first pull off of it, no pun intended. I would immediately know this shit I ordered. This not mine.
Right.
This can't be me.
And when I go back, I ain't trying to get the dude fired. I just want to know who his connect is. That's all I know. Like,
I wouldn't even go back.
I'm not going back. I'm gonna just pump the 3 bags.
So you mean to tell me, Keon, that if you go to McDonald's and you buy, because all they soft drinks are $1, if you can get high and get 3 bags off $1, you ain't going back?
Well, I thought maybe go back to get the complaint. If you something like that, I might,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going back. Like, shit, I want to know who this dude is that put the weed in my cup. What hours do you work, sir?
I've been to Vegas a couple months ago. They got that stuff like liquid form,
right?
THC liquid. Have you ever seen it? Or I've never heard of it until I seen it in cans. Did you ever heard this before?
I saw it in the cans. I saw like bartenders make like liquid like THC drinks.
Where were you?
No, I ain't seen it. I wasn't there, but I've seen it.
Okay.
And I've seen it in LA, like a syrup.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And you can pour it in other drinks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because I don't consume THC, so
I don't either. I'm just telling you, I saw it.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Yeah.
Now, when they legalize it, I might try it in Georgia. But
right. Yeah, looking forward to that first time. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I just thought like somebody lying. You're right. Like it's a rat somewhere.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, and now that dude is a weed head and he a liar. So
he's trying to sue McDonald's. That's what it's like to me.
Right. See, I guess he thought this is like the new age version of hot coffee.
Exactly.
You got weed in your cup. So I don't know.
Or it might be a marketing scheme like Popeye's chicken sandwich. Like maybe
be.
McDonald's was like, "Yo, we gotta find out a way to get in social media and get on everybody's like mind. And how about if we claim this guy got high, or just put 3 bags of weed in and see what happens.
And speaking of Popeyes, so they opened up a Popeyes, the first Popeyes in Winston, right?
Wow.
A mile from my house. Yo, they opened it Friday, last Friday. That shit has been
you didn't
both.
beat nobody up.
I ain't even been there because, for one, right, both entrances have been backed up around the corner with cars since Friday morning at 10 o'clock. And Popeyes don't even serve breakfast.
Yeah.
They got that chicken sandwich.
Right. Like, it's crazy. Like, I just ride by there to see how many idiots out there, but and not idiots. Like, if you want to go, because I'm waiting for the line to drop off because I'm going
To taste it out.
right.
Have either of y'all tasted? Anyone? Any of y'all?
Nah. So I ain't knocking for anybody for trying.
Publix.
Yo,
I mean, Publix. I've been addicted.
Yo,
the
that's
shit
what
is
I want.
delicious.
Oh, you with me? Oh, talking about the Popeyes or
The
Publix?
Popeyes is fucking delicious.
I haven't.
Oh, is
had
it? Oh, I'm with
Yeah.
you on the Publix. That's why I went. That's why I
Hell
went
yeah.
Friday because I was like, fuck it. I want Publix. Fuck Popeyes.
Hell
Yo, yeah. So I'm with you.
Yes.
But yeah, Al, I'm definitely gonna check it out. So I ain't clowning nobody for going to Popeyes. I'm just saying I'm not waiting 2 hours in the line for no fast food.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either because you're right. I mean, it's 2 hours ain't worth it for nothing. For none of that fast food. But that being said, in August, I had it, and with the spicy sauce, I was very impressed. Like,
compare it to Chick-fil-A.
So if you're a Chick-fil-A fan, you're gonna say it's equal.
Okay.
If you don't rock with Chick-fil-A, and there's some folks who rock with it like that, like, you know, like it's a fraternity or sorority, like they down for Chick-fil-A like that. I'm not that dude, so I'm gonna keep it real. Shit was better. The shit is good.
If it's equal or slightly better, then I'm waiting 2 hours. I just go to Chick-fil-A.
Right.
I mean, I think part of it, there's people who want to have it for the first time. Like, I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
The novelty.
The rush, right? The
What
novelty.
do they call it? Yeah, it's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Right. Because you're right. At the end of the day, like I was coming home last week or something, and I was gonna take my son to have it. Then we drive, and it's like around the corner. I'm like, the Chick-fil-A over there, ain't nobody in the line. We going over there.
Right. And even if there's a line, that line moves fast. You with the Chick-fil-A's, it's like an army routine.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're not paying me, so I ain't gonna say anything else about it.
Oh yeah.
You know, y'all want me to do a commercial, Popeye, or sponsor Defy Life?
Right.
We'll talk more about it, but you know.
Exactly. Pooh, have you had one?
No, I haven't. I probably hadn't even been to Popeyes maybe 6 times in my lifetime.
I'm with Pooh.
Like, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
you know,
with you.
yeah. So I ain't even pressed about it.
Right. Yeah, and y'all, you know, I guess if I got a black card left since Al took my black card for not liking to play spades, I've always thought Popeyes was overrated. So,
Best of them all.
Oh, really?
I used to like Bojangles when I was a teenager, but I don't even like that no more. And I'm not, it's not like I go a lot, but they were the ones who I thought were the best. And to be honest, I can't remember the last time I've been to a Popeyes before someone sitting next to me at a conference is bragging about this damn chicken sandwich. And I'm like, it can't be that damn good. And they're like, yo, Al, it's all that. You got to have it. And I was like, really?
Wow.
Popeyes? That's all that?
Like I said, I'm on this Publix thing, and I went to the doctor like 3 weeks ago. He said my cholesterol is getting high, so I need to cut all this shit out. But it's just fucking hard.
I'm with you. Right. That's why I haven't been back.
And then,
That's why I don't go to Popeyes that much.
Yeah. Then I and a nephew who are both managers at the closest Chick-fil-A. So I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I get like...
The damn chicken shit be hard.
Yeah. And
Chick-fil-A.
Right. Yeah. Even if I'm just like, I'm give me a lemonade or something.
Or lemonade.
But you're right.
Yeah, that shit, my body don't take it like it used to.
Yo, it's crazy. It sure don't.
Yeah.
All that fast food.
Yeah.
So, But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I am going to try one. So when I do, I report it. And Keon, you, Pooh, when y'all try one, I'll let you know. So in a month when this line, they did say that they are announcing. So I guess the Burger Kings that are closing down are being taken over by Popeyes. So this is what's happening. So they are.
What's going on with Burger King? I missed that.
Burger King's just shutting down a bunch of stores. So we've had, I know in Winston alone, we've had 3 in Winston in the last 6 months to close. And 2 of them, now that they just opened up this Popeyes, and now there's another one who Popeyes is taking over that one too.
And there was no Popeyes in Winston before that?
None, not at all.
Somebody is capitalizing on this damn chicken sandwich.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. It'll probably be a while before it dies down, and by that time it'll be my luck that they out of chicken sandwiches. And
or they do like the McRib and put it out once a year.
Right, exactly.
Like
So, a fucking McRib. How disgusting is that shit? I can't believe I used to like that shit as a kid.
yeah, okay. You said used to, yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, I loved that shit.
But now, no better.
Yeah,
it's not
like,
even a rib. It's like just like it's almost like a hot dog shaped like like
pieces
right. Of meat all
dumped in barbecue sauce, right?
Mystery meat.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, it's like overly processed pork. Like, God, how disgusting is that shit? But even to say, right? Yeah. But I remember as a kid, like, you know how like certain foods you eat just remind you of a time in your life.
Yes, sir.
So, Pooh, you remember the Hub Theater in Newberry, right?
No doubt.
So, you know, it was the movie theater in Newberry had one movie, like, so it was, you know, it was everything that was there. You had to see that. So,
yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember the movie Mermaid with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what year was that, like maybe 85, 86. So I was a little kid. And I remember McDonald's was right across the street. And I had my first fucking McRib. I almost lost my mind on the way to see Mermaid. Yo. Because, you know, as a kid, you throw barbecue sauce on anything, and that shit good. So it was slathered in barbecue sauce and pickles and shit. And then, you know, that was back when McDonald's fries was actually good. Yo, I almost lost my mind. I was like in the car. Like I know I watched that movie with barbecue sauce everywhere. Like hands sticky, shirt messy. Like I know. And I was like 6, so it was a wrap. I was done. I had barbecue sauce on my eyebrows.
Well, that's probably the best part of it. There was the sauce, maybe, you know. But knowing better, I guess you can't eat that part.
Right.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, McDonald's, and your McRib. I don't know whenever you bring it. I think it's out now. Yeah. Right?
So. No, it is. Because we stopped by, and because you know every once in a while. No, hell no.
Okay.
You know, every once in a while, like the kids be like, yeah, you know, Happy Meal. So we stopped there. It was like Carter was like, well, you know, I'll eat here too. So Keita was like, well, we'll get you the McRib out. He was like, McRib, okay. So we got to the picture, and he was like, no. He was like, I don't know what that might taste like. Don't get me the McRib. Get me a quarter pounder with cheese. Yeah, right. I was like, true. He was like, is that even rib? I was like, no. I don't know what that is.
It's rib adjacent. So good decision.
Right. Allegedly.
Right. Rat rib.
You ever watched the Ray Kroc movie with
Yeah.
I thought that was good. Michael Keaton. Yeah,
that was
I thought
good.
that was very good. Yeah. But
and
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, he played Ray Kroc, the guy that I didn't even say started McDonald's, but like stole it or whatever. But Ray, you heard of Ray Kroc.
Yeah, he started it and he stole it and franchised it and made McDonald's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good.
Check it out.
It's really good.
What is Netflix or something? Or?
It might be. It was a movie.
It was a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Damn, I can't remember the name of it.
Damn, Michael
Not
Keaton.
The Investor, not the. I forgot. But shit was good.
You got Fire Stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Come on, man.
It's on there.
Yeah. So just Google Michael Keaton McDonald's movie. You'll find the name.
It's called The Founder.
The Founder.
The Founder. Okay, yeah. No, I remember seeing that, but I never watched it. Okay.
It's good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And sad.
It's grimy, but it's
yeah. It's just
so
like
it's what America is built upon.
It's capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like the music industry and burgers.
It's funny you say that. I think that's what it is. It's America. It's
yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
the people that win the war tell the story. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Good time.
Right.
And sell the big man.
and sell a big yeah.
Y'all know what else is America?
What's up?
Cheating.
Oh,
So our listener question comes from a guy by the name of Garrett in Hagerstown, Maryland. Yeah, Garrett, he's damn. Hey, somebody would ask this question and not throwing anything at you, Keon. But when Keon comes back, because we ain't never had a question like this. So Garrett says, my wife caught me cheating on her. How do I earn her trust back?
Wow.
I don't know if Garrett, if you mistaken us for relationship status, sir, but we're gonna take our best shot at it.
But since they want to invite us on their show, we
Right.
might as well have a relationship.
Exactly. And so Al, so when we were in Hartsville, for the partners retreat, I get an invite to come be a guest on relationship status, right?
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't make it. Something came up because they kind of threw me in because I guess they had to work me into their schedule when it was suffice to let a lowling like us come on their show. But we was all about to leave. I couldn't make it. Had something come up. So yeah, we still haven't been a guest on relationship status. But I also guess that Garrett figures that it ain't no married people on that show. So we want to ask some actual married people what he should do to get his wife's trust back. I've never cheated on anyone in my life, so I don't know, Garrett. And I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark. I'm just kidding. But Garrett, I'm gonna start here because I don't want to start first, and then y'all think, "Damn, this dude must cheat on his wife." I don't want to start one of y'all because somebody gonna insinuate that I'm saying you're the master in getting somebody's trust back. So, Garrett, I'll just start first and say that, like anything else, when you fuck up, you have to show first humility. So the fact that you are reaching out to someone, even if it's us, idiots, who ain't no telling what kind of advice you might get. The fact that you're reaching out to somebody, and it means you're showing humility, and you do, at least on the surface, you care. But just be humble in your approach and realize that, and be patient in the fact that she has a right to be pissed off and angry and mad and go through all the processes of, recovery that she deserves. And so just humble yourself. That's all I got to say. And be prepared for a long fucking ride. Al, it's on you. And I did start with Al because Al is the most experienced married person here. So maybe you got a lot
the
of
most
insight.
experienced cheater. It's the most experienced married person.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna joke too much because this is homeboy's marriage. So, I think how I look at marriage and value it, I should give him advice that might give him a chance to save it. So I ain't gonna fuck around with my jokes and everything. I think humility is a great start. I think it starts with being contrite and owning it, and just I think your point about expecting a long ride and allowing her to voice or be mad, I think that is key. You can't determine like how they react, or you can't determine what they're going to require for you to earn their trust back. And I think that's where it starts, like really communicating, owning it, and then saying, yo, what is it going to take? What do I got to do? Because I'm willing to do it, or not, it might be so much that you're like, man, fuck that, I ain't doing that shit. Yeah. Or if you want it to work, then you do it. And so I think that's a big part of it. But I think there's also a realization that you also might not ever get that trust back. Because, Reality is a broken heart. When that shit is broke, that shit is hard to get back. And Jay-Z said a long time ago, when a good girl gone bad, like she's gone forever. Like that shit right there. Like I think once you ruin that, she might not ever be the same. Right. So I think for those who haven't ruined it, value that because it ain't ever the same, and you just try to make the best out of it. But that trust shit matters, and so be careful with it. Once you throw it away, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, hey man, Pooh, what say you, sir?
Man, I'm just gonna definitely reiterate, this is totally a stab in the dark. Hey, my heart goes out to you and your wife, bro. But I guess, man, you have to be transparent, man, and allow her to handle it the way she's gonna handle it, because I mean, truth be told, did fuck her over. I mean, so you're definitely gonna be transparent, and she's gonna ask 1,000,001 questions, and I mean, give her what she needs to attempt to get over it. And if she's willing to even give it a try, man, you definitely thank your lucky stars. But I mean, it's gonna be one day at a time, and like Jay and Al said, man, it's gonna be a long, tough road. I hate to sound like the bearer of bad news, but when the sun rises and set on you, and you do something to taint that, it's definitely hard for them to visualize you in that light again. So you got to tight, lace up your bootstraps tight, man. It's definitely gonna be a bumpy one, but I'll live one day at a time, and want to get her back. Just show that you want to get her back. That's all I have, man. That's tough.
Right. Yeah, and it'll help if you can sing, and you can wait till it rains, and pull off an Usher video in real life, something. But I don't know. Keon, what say you?
I say, you big dummy. I say, how about Spanish? Tu gran tanto. Or French. Grove mancan. They all mean the same thing. You fucked up, right? But I think he knows he fucked up, so he's asking for complete strangers for advice. So just say, man, the great Nick Saban, his wife's name is Terry Saban, right? He said, he was talking to the football players. He said, if he ever cheat on his wife, it's going to be with Hillary Clinton. Because she's going to cheat up. He's not going to be fucking the waitress at Waffle House. Obviously, I don't know no details, but obviously I think this cat cheated with the girl at Waffle House. He didn't fuck like Rihanna or some shit. Like, what I mean? Somebody with the $10 million Revlon deal. Because he wouldn't be asking us this. He'd be it's like, fuck it. He'd be moved on. My point is, though, everything Al said, everything Pooh says, right? That shit ain't never going to be the same. You got to deal with the fact that anytime she go to the store, you going to be tripping. You know what I'm saying? She say, I'm cool, it's cool. But you like, yo, it's not cool. So you going to be tripping. You got to get over that shit. If she says it's cool, you ain't going to believe him. So y'all got to go through some real, something. You got to, get over it. She got to get over it. And maybe you can get through it. Maybe you can't. But just know that this shit ain't going to be easy. And next time, cheat up. Thank you.
And put a fingerprint code on your phone. Something.
And let me also say, in the spirit of payback as a bitch, 90% of the women that I've ever heard about cheating do it in response to what their man did. So in this process of earning back trust, you might also want to pay attention and watch out, because I wouldn't be surprised if like you find out she went on a trip with somebody or something like this.
Nah, she gonna fuck you.
Pay
brother.
attention to that too.
You heard what I said? Al?
Yeah.
She gonna fuck your brother.
Yeah, your homeboy, your best.
No.
Yeah.
All right. For that.
Yeah. Like, and two things. One, that's true, Keon. I saw a Twitter post. I saw a tweet the other day. This chick said her man cheated on her, and she fucked the dude that killed his brother.
Oh my God! See, that's too
over the top,
that's
right?
Too much. That's too much.
So that's what But what I'm saying is, be ready for anything, man.
Yeah.
Right. Like, even though that's some savage shit, be ready for anything.
Right.
Like Al said, once a good girl's gone bad, ain't no telling what the fucking happened. She gone forever.
I mean, we all know about the the vengeance and the dish.
Right. But I'll say this. It's the last thing I'm gonna say about it is, in all seriousness, don't be afraid to get counseling for you, for her, and together. That shit matters. That shit helps, and be open to it. Don't know if you're doing it or not, but be open to it.
Yeah. Rule number one, man, just leave no stone unturned. Like, dude, pull out everything. Counseling, I mean, whatever you think that can sway her. Hey, get it done, man. Just, I mean, don't be afraid to be naked, quote unquote. So
vulnerable.
And start liking all the shit that she likes. If she want to go pumpkin picking, you better go pumpkin picking.
Man.
Hey, that's part of being humble, man.
Just spread out, flat out, omit Sundays.
Right,
If football, football's
done.
over for you.
Yeah.
And I think a good way to earn the trust is to really be honest.
Right.
I think part of that is gonna a lot of times the question of why. Like you might really need to be open and honest with her so that she can believe, and it might hurt. Right. But I think her acknowledging that, but at least he's being honest might give her something to build on as she goes forward, because the part of the cheating is, it's not just, it's like it's you're caught in lies. So like we can't trust you anymore. So you got to really start to be honest on many different fronts, so that she's looking at you like, all right, at least I can believe what's coming out his mouth. I might not like what's coming out his mouth, but I can believe and I can build off of that.
So it's so much that we don't got no details. Like I wonder, like, did she forgive him, or is it that, or is she just like, fuck you, nigga, and he trying to get her back? Like, what is it?
I'm like you, Keon. I would assume that since he's asking complete strangers, it's a bad situation.
Oh yeah, she done moved out.
Yeah, like she at least sleeping in another room, or he's sleeping somewhere else. It ain't good right now, Garrett.
But wish you the best, homie.
No doubt,
absolutely.
Man, definitely
we definitely appreciate the question. Like Al said, this is your marriage, so we do take it seriously. But it ain't a lot of shit that we don't attach a joke to at some point.
I don't.
Nah.
I'm not gonna think it was yesterday. He did.
Yeah, you fucked up. We do acknowledge that, Gary. You fucked up, and that's what you have to acknowledge too.
Yeah, you gotta laugh though.
Right.
Hey,
but
I definitely want to leave him with this, man. Any type of behavior, it stems from a goal not met. Something not being met in any behavior. So you need to figure out what you're missing. You need to be find out what you're searching for.
So it sounds like you need to be honest with himself.
Right. Or send us a picture of the chick, and we can tell you what you was missing.
I'll see.
And don't let it be. Right. Okay. I don't know if I want to see it.
Man.
We don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't want to see the photo and be like, damn, he losing.
Yeah. So like you looking past the chick in the picture, like, is that her in the background? Oh man, nah, Garrett, man.
Losing.
Yeah, man. Damn.
Hey, y'all crazy, man. You know we had to get a little fun in the Garrett, but we definitely don't want to be like that. Damn, he losing. Yo, he tripping. Yeah.
God damn, boy. But I don't want to. Joe, I don't want to like I'm being judgmental of the dude. So I don't want to.
Nah, never that.
No, I mean, to him, he's listening. I'm not coming at you like that. I'm laughing, but it's what it is. It is what it is. I'm just don't want to be judgmental of you. It's hell. You asked the question though.
Right, and you know the fact that you submit a question, I know, you know, and you listen to the show, you know who we are, so you know we're gonna take jabs at you, man.
All right, just because we got jokes, we ain't necessarily judging.
Right,
and we with you. You know how we get down, Garrett. But at the end of the day, man, you know what you got to do, and you know you fucked up. So just get right. We do implore you, though, however long it takes. Let us know when you get her trust back and you get that woman back, man. Let us know when it happens, because it's going to happen.
No doubt.
Man. Long time,
No
bro.
doubt.
Hey, no
doubt.
Hey, we've been on for 132 episodes, so
yeah.
you know, we'll be here, Garrett. We ain't going
No doubt. No doubt.
So yeah, man. Well, y'all, we do appreciate these questions. If you haven't noticed, we've trimmed these listener questions back to one, so we can kind of keep our time limit down. Thanks, Yosh. So if y'all got anything you want to answer, you know, if you want to get something off your chest, if you cheat on your wife, or if you just want to, you know, you disagree with something we say on the show, hit us up. You can email us at info@godefylife.com, or hit us up on any social media platform at GoDefyLife. We are going to jump into a commercial, and we'll be right back with you. Are you into comics? I mean, seriously into all things comics? Well, lucky you needs to check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, where Regular Scott, Ozzy Killmonger, and V's discuss characters, movies, series, books, fan polls, and more. And you never know who may show up for an open mic. Just some blurs going deep and having fun. Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. New episode every Sunday. Brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. It's episode 133. That was our guys, Regular Scott and Oz over at Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. Definitely check those guys out for any comic, superhero talk, pro wrestling, all that kind of stuff, man. Scott and Oz got a lot of information for you. So check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, only on the Defy Life Podcast Network. Guys, let's talk some happy talk, man. Garrett done fucked up the whole show with your cheating ass. Garrett, man.
Hey, you foul.
I'm fucking with you, Garrett.
Hey, before we get off Garrett, I do want to say I fucked up. I didn't mean to say every behavior comes from a goal not met. I meant to say it comes from a need not met. Right. So I wanted to,
I really thought you said goal. I was trying to.
I get what you were saying. I got it.
I did.
My dude.
I was trying to understand what goals are you trying to meet.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now.
I ain't get that promotion, so I fucked my boss. That's what basically. Yeah. But yeah, I got you. So, Garrett, man, we love you. Keep listening, and just keep striving. Then give us a 5-star rating while you're at it. We don't just give this advice for nothing, sir. So I ask you guys this every week. Keanu, I ain't asked you this in a while, so I'm gonna start with you.
What's up?
After week 10 in the NFL, what do you know?
I don't know nothing still yet. No, I ain't gonna say no. Let me tell you something. I think this past I saw 2 games this past Sunday where it's starting to I can tell it's starting to heat up. Where the Cowboys, Vikings, and last night was that last night?
Seattle and 49.
That was a wonderful game to watch. So the good teams are starting to take shape right now. You know what I mean? Like you do who's who. So what do we know? I don't think the 49ers are contenders. I think NFC probably I don't know. The Saints look bad. The Packers. I don't know. I'm rambling right now. All I can say is the games are starting to get better because you kind of see who's who. But I don't know. I still don't know anything yet. Oh, the Ravens. The Ravens are for real, I think. But other than that, I don't know anything.
Okay. All right. Pooh, what do you know after Week 10 in the NFL?
I know. Mitchell Trubisky is a bomb. Even though when he plays well, he still looks bad. That's when you know someone's a bomb.
Wow.
When they play well and they still look bad, you know, Mitchell Trubisky's a bum. That's what I know.
Pooh, you called it draft. You've been consistent on this.
Hey, I preach. I'm glad you remember that, Keith.
Trubisky. You said you like threw your hat and all that.
Yeah, I kicked the trash can down. Right. He's like, yo, who the fuck that is out there?
Got a cops card on.
Wigging out.
Burned his Urlacher jersey.
Hey, I was wigging.
Don't it trip you out though? How like the people that pick these players are like, I don't know. You got to work your way to get to that point, and then they pick Trubisky. Like all that years of like, you know, grinding and traveling to these little towns and learning football, all that time and study, and then you pick the wrong guy. You know what I mean? It's like,
but what
crazy.
You know, a lot of that is though, Keon, and you know, I told you all about awful white QBs on Twitter a while ago. But a lot of that is, you know, anytime you take a Mitchell Trubisky and you leave a Deshaun Watson, Pat Mahomes, you leave those guys on the board, it goes to show you that it's the tall, handsome white guy syndrome. You know,
they paying for it too,
right? Because he looks like a quarterback.
And that's what V's and I was just blasting the other day, and he was, you know, he tried to take up for Mitchell for a while, but he was like, you know what, Pooh, Mitchell's awful. So we were talking about it, and we were just talking about it the other day. And he was like, man, he just looked like a prototypical quarterback. Right. I said, how? He was like, well, he got a big arm. I said, well, Deshaun and Jack and Pat they have huge arms, you know. I said, so what do you mean prototypical? He was like, he's big. I was like, he's not big. He's like 6'1" and 1/4, about 6'2" total. I said, he's not big. That's an illusion that he's the 6'4", 6'5" guy. He's not big like that. You know, we just goofed that pick off. But I get you though, man. They do get quote unquote the prototypical quarterback, but he's not that model of a guy. 6'4", 6'5", you know, can throw the ball through a brick wall. I mean, he has an arm, but he's not that guy. Like, he doesn't look like. I can't even remember anyone.
You're missing
like
the
Matt
most
Stafford,
vital point. Matt Stafford.
No, I like
less.
Matt.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
he did. He had a gun, but Matt Stafford had a beer belly and shit when he came out, so he was a little less pretty than Mitchell.
Okay.
But you're missing the most vital point. Matt Stafford, Mitch Trubisky, he's a white guy. He looks like an NFL quarterback.
I got called an Uncle Tom, and everybody's pouting at the Cowboy House because I said Jalen Hurts is not. I don't think he's gonna make it. And Tua, I don't think Tua's good. Like, for me talking bad about the black quarterbacks, they literally when the Uncle Tom and me and like, yes sir, boss, and I couldn't defend myself. But I don't know who. Like, so let's say out of this new crop that's coming out, how do you? This shit's hard to pick, man. You know what I mean?
NFL picks are hard to pick anyway, but the NFL is changing, and until like these old school like narratives and egos start to get flushed out of the league, this is going to continue to happen, right? I think Tua is going to be great in the NFL because he can do so many things. And he's accurate. He can throw on the run, and he's not a statue in the pocket. Jalen Hurts, I'm kind of along the lines with you there. I just think the sample size is so small that it's hard to believe that he can like flip that quickly from being a pretty average college quarterback to being a starting professional quarterback.
How about Fields?
I like Fields. I like Fields a lot. Not sure how much that system is going to help him as a passer. But I think Fields is going to be good. But, the NFL is changing. And, the more – and this is the thing. When the NFL gets all of it, like the NFL's farm system is college football, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have, not only the quarterbacks that are now running these spread systems, they pretty much have to be mobile to a certain extent. Not necessarily, Lamar Jackson, but you have to be mobile to be a successful college quarterback now. And then that trickle down is no longer do you have these big bruising road graders for offensive linemen. So they are going all to the NFL and they don't know how to run block. And then you have receivers who don't know how to run routes. And then you have and so now the NFL is starting to pick up these trends and the talent from college football. So it's not the old drop back 3, 5, 7 step quarterbacks and stand in the pocket and scan the field that we used to have exclusively. So now that the NFL is taking on these concepts of college football, the guys who aren't mobile just don't cut it anymore, because it's a lot easier to draft one mobile quarterback than it is to draft 5 really good offensive linemen to protect them.
So let me. This is what I'm burning to ask you. I'm gonna ask you 3 quarterbacks, and you just keep thumbs up, thumbs down. Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, and Jacob Eason. NFL.
Trevor Lawrence, thumbs up.
Okay.
And you said Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yeah.
Thumbs up with a ceiling. And
Jacob Eason.
And Jacob Eason, I go. Can I give like a thumb sideways?
No, because that's like you.
Yeah, I go thumbs down.
Okay.
Now I think I'll preface it with this: Georgia made an awful mistake keeping Jake Fromm instead of Eason.
That's hindsight, though, right?
I think you said it at the time too. We said it at the time when he transferred. I think we all said it. He's when you mentioned he was transferring, we said he was the better, but at that point you had to stay with Fromm. He's what got you there. And Eason hadn't really proved anything yet. But he was the better talent.
And it was Fields. 3 of them.
And it was Fields, right. So I think we all said at the time that Fromm was the worst of the 3 individually, but he was kind of taking leadership of that team. So you had to keep him. Okay. But I think Eason, he's that guy that I'm talking about. I don't think he's like Trevor Lawrence is not overly athletic, but he's like a unicorn with his arm. Like he's so talented with his arm.
Accurate.
Right, he's accurate. He's got a big arm. He's tall. He can he can read defenses. I think Eason is like not even a poor man's Lawrence, but a homeless man's Lawrence, in the sense that he's not extremely athletic, so he's more of a pocket passer. But he's not special enough to overcome those limitations. So I'll give him a thumbs down.
Okay, so you said up Murray, up Lawrence, and down Eason. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I think Kyler Murray's if he stays in the right coach, right system, who can utilize his skills and again not try to make him what he's not, he's gonna be special. But yeah, so Al, what do you know after week 10?
For one, I know Lamar's amazing.
Yeah.
I know Jamal Adams is a bully.
Yeah.
The way he just took Daniel Jones, just took the ball from him, threw him to the ground,
and called it before he said it. Like he told the coach, "I'm about to give me a fumble return for a touchdown."
I'm just saying, like that was like demoralizing to the nth degree to just have that done to you.
Right.
Like that's butt fumble-ish.
Yeah.
And then, but the real thing I know is that
Like, yo, from a Cowboy perspective, I really do like my quarterback. And each week, he's a guy that tries to get better. I like his approach. I like his poise. I like how he comes back. He should have had an opportunity to win that game Sunday night. The play calling was suspect.
Yes.
But that's that's not his issue. I mean, maybe he could have audible. I don't know what the options were, but maybe he don't have that right. I don't know where they are in the in the offense and stuff like that. But the way he performed, the way he throws the ball, his chemistry with Amari Cooper, like I'm just really, I haven't felt like this with my passing game really since Romo and Dez had some moments where they were clicking. And so I like where we are offensively. Minnesota's defense is really focused on shutting down Zeke, and so that's something that we got to figure that shit out because you shouldn't be able to just shut down Zeke like that, and that's happened a couple of times this season. So, but all in all, I'm 5-4, like kind of what Key said, it's a sign where we are in the season. There's going to be some real good games going forward. And we got a tough schedule, so what I don't know is we're gonna make the playoffs. Like I don't know that because it was an easier schedule and we got some hard teams to play. So but either way, looking forward to the season, and I still think we got a talented team. Even every game we lost, we could have won. And I know it's easy to say that in the NFL because it seems like every game comes down to the last drive. That being said, we could have won every game, so or lost every game, I guess. But except that Eagles game. That Eagles game, we gave them the business. So yeah.
I answered the question more like who's going to the Super Bowl, and I just can't call it. Kind of thing who do I think? And I just don't know. The NFC looks wide open to me. It seems like it could be the Cowboys, or it could be they could, like you said, they won't make the playoffs, and it's just hard to see,
Yeah, and with the Cowboys, with the NFC East, we pretty much what we know is there's not going to be two teams coming out of that division. So you're either going to win it or you're not making the playoffs.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah, because you're 5-4 in first place.
Yeah,
it's just your record. I'm just saying it's not that the teams aren't good. It's the records are just kind of showing that 5-4 in first place. You're probably setting yourself up for either win the division or you're not making the playoffs.
Because a wild card.
All right, because the wild
card.
Have a better
record than that.
Yeah, you're looking at Seattle's in second, in the fifth seed right now with they 8-2.
You figure one of them is going.
And the Vikings,
right? And the Vikings, yeah. So it's tough. It's gonna be tough to come out of the NFC East as a wild card. So,
so you think it's gonna be the Vikings Bears division? No. It'll be the
Packers, Vikings, Seattle, and 49ers. It'll come down to those four.
Yeah.
So,
I think the 49ers suspect, in my opinion.
Really, what makes you say that?
Hell, man.
And not that I disagree. I'm just.
I texted you last night. I was like, what's the grip? Was Garoppolo? I think he's Shanahan is the master. I'm repeating what I said. Shanahan is the master at making an average quarterback look good and a good quarterback look very good, like he did with Matt Ryan. And I think that he kind of got exposed. Well, Seattle's a great defense, but Garoppolo just doesn't look like he doesn't look like he can lead that team to being consistent. Plus, the 49ers record's going to get crazy in the next few weeks. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm standing here. I don't think the
49ers?
Wow.
Yes. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to fall off a cliff. I could be hella wrong because their defense is good.
Yeah, and that was my only I thought about that too. We see it a lot in all sports where teams kind of ride that wave and then they lose and they don't know how to respond to it, and they kind of fall apart. Especially when it's a team that doesn't have a history, a recent history of winning. So that'll be interesting to see. But I did say this to West Coast Jay a while back, as he's a 49ers fan, and I was like, at some point, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to do quarterback shit. And I don't know if he can do quarterback shit when he has to do quarterback shit. We saw that last night when he had to be a quarterback, the guy, and he just couldn't do it in crucial moments. So
Clowney was all in his face.
Right. And, you know, and not that you get sacked, but when you get sacked and you lose fumbles, like that kind of shit matters when game later on in the season. So we'll see. I don't know. We touched on this earlier. One thing that I know, as I said this like during the offseason, the Steelers lost Antonio Brown. You know, they essentially lost Le'Veon Bell 2 years ago because he didn't play last year. But I said that at that moment, I said they may not be better, but they'll damn sure be better off. And I think this season, even with the loss of Roethlisberger, and we kind of touched on it earlier, showing how much better off they are as a team, as a unit, and as an organization, because they have the personalities and the lack of egos in that locker room to play for each other. And I've said I can't count on how many times I've said over the last 7-8 years how much I hate this Steelers team. Like every year, it's like I hate this team. Like as talented as they are, over the last 7-8 seasons, I'm like I hate this team because they don't play together. They can't play well at the same time. Obviously, everybody's playing for themselves, and which is it's so refreshing. Even though I know there's no realistic chance of this team going to a Super Bowl, not with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, but it's refreshing to see that the entire team playing for each other and playing complementary football. Now, would it be great if this was like one of those fateful years where it's like, hey, this team, like everything worked out and this kind of magical ride? That happens rarely, and it's kind of a one and done kind of thing. But it's enjoyable watching this team. So that's the one thing I know is I actually enjoy watching the Steelers now. And, you know, even though, you know, Le'Veon and AB and Ben were fun to watch, it was rare that I actually enjoyed them for long stretches of the season. So it's refreshing.
I would be surprised if the Steelers aren't in Atlanta on Saturday to watch Kaepernick work out. I'm actually surprised that they haven't made a move. I would think that would have been the team he would have gone to. Of all the teams in the league, I thought the Steelers would have made a move on him, you know, in a backup or some kind of role like that. But
yeah, it probably wouldn't have been a bad move for them. I think the only thing that kind of shut that down was, you know, when you give up a first-round pick for Minka Fitzpatrick, you know, you give up a fifth-round pick for Nick Van Neck, I think they're kind of showing that, you know, we're all like, we ain't giving up. So it would kind of defeat the purpose to go with a complete unknown at this point in Kaepernick. But you're right. As a backup, I don't think it would have hurt at all, especially when you got an undrafted rookie as your backup and, you know, nothing else. What was the guy who got drafted in the first round? Paxton Lynch as your third stringer.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to call this point in the season. He's not going to play for it. I don't realistically. Yeah. If you want him to play, you do this in February, March. Right,
and that's what kind of like makes me question what's the NFL's motivation behind this right now. It's kind of like they want to say, well, I kind of think they're fearing that he's going to file another grievance against them. So they're like, hey, let's put something out there. Let's give him an opportunity so he can't say we ain't giving him an opportunity. So
he's like 32 now
32?
Or something?
Yeah.
So, now it's like the age starts to accelerate at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, that's what I know. After week 10. So we mentioned, I think all of us mentioned Lamar Jackson at some point in this conversation. Yeah. So I'm guessing we all saw the run he had this weekend against Cincinnati, which started making me think. So initially I was like, damn, that's impressive. And so I started immediately going into comparison mode. Is it better than the Vick run against the Vikings? I don't know. Is it better than Randall Cunningham's play? We avoided Bruce Smith in the end zone and threw a 97-yard touchdown to Fred Barnett. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. Was it better than Steve Young's run? We almost like fell going for the last 20 yards. All that stuff. What's the most impressive, Al? What's the most impressive mobile QB play you've seen in NFL history?
I definitely did jump on YouTube and then watch some highlights, and there's been some amazing runs by NFL quarterbacks in history. But to me, I loved I think on a pure run side, that spin will probably be just has it as one of the greatest runs for me ever. When I saw it as it was happening, I was just like, I had to rewind it, like, let me see that. Did he just? But what I like about, I'm gonna go with Vick. Why I still would put that as my number one. And one is just the sheer speed that he displayed on that run. I think the players colliding.
Yeah.
I think also, and it's like it's almost like he shifted. Like let me turn it up just a little bit, bam, so they could hit each other. And then the fact that it was in overtime and he runs off the field.
Yeah.
Like that to
Straight
me.
to Matty City.
Right. Like that, yeah. When I watched that, I was like, I had forgot all like that. I was like, oh wow, yeah. I'm going with it.
All right. Pooh, what say you? What's the most impressive mobile quarterback play you've seen?
I think I'm gonna have to go with that. But Vick definitely had an awesome one against the Panthers too.
Oh yeah.
His first game back and he broke his leg.
Yeah, so that was awesome. But I guess in the aspect of as a walk-off game winner, it's hard to beat that. Yeah. You know, it's definitely hard to beat that. But I also want to give I want to shout Lamar out on that one. It was huge, great play, great run. But y'all don't get mad at me for this. But I do want to give it wasn't a necessary run, but it was just eluding tacklers, you know, almost lying face down, getting out of it, getting kicked in the face, bloody eye.
Oh,
and Deshaun, man, when y'all don't mark me for this, but
it's a great play.
It was a great play, running, eluding guys, breaking tackles, flipped over, kicked in the face, hit the guy on the strike. You know, it's a great play, man. These guys out here making plays, man.
I don't remember this play.
Wow. Yeah,
you got to watch it. A couple weeks ago, he literally got kicked in the eye with a bloody eye, threw a touchdown on the strike.
Wow.
And a few series before that, like he was spun down and he got out of it and threw another touchdown to Hopkins, and they called him down.
All right.
You know, the referee called him down. He's down. You know, he never hit the ground, never hit anything. But hey, I don't know, man.
I thought he'd be out the league by now, so I'm just impressed that he's still hanging around.
But to answer the question, Mike Vick. I'm gonna go with Mike Vick.
Okay. All right, Keon.
I'm gonna go. I had to get my facts straight first, but I had to go with the Vikings. I thought this was a playoff game, so I was going to say, how could you even ask that question? It was a playoff game, but I had to go back and look, and no, it wasn't. It was a regular season game. The Vikings were bad, just like the Bengals were bad. So that kind of nullifies my point, but I still give it to Vick because I just like Vick. So that was why. There's no other reason why. I just like Vick better. But let me say this. No, I shouldn't say better. The Lamar Jackson is the closest thing to Vick. They try to put RG3. I heard people talk about Colin Kaepernick even. He's the way he throws, the way he runs. He's the closest thing to Vick since Vick left the league. Yeah, so this dude's amazing to watch. And I think he benefited by getting drafted when he did by a team that was good. Or you know what I mean? You know, he didn't get drafted by the Bengals.
Right, yeah. They had something around him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
they have a stable coaching staff and all that stuff that comes with it being drafted by the team drafted. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But two goes to Miami, I feel for him.
Right.
Or the Bengals or something like that.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't feel that bad for him in Miami because I think Miami is kind of showing growth throughout the season, and you know they've got some decent weapons at receiver, but I think they're kind of showing like things are coming together for them, although they lack talent. I think there's a plan and a vision there. I don't know what the hell is going on in Cincinnati. Like they 10 games in, and they ain't got an identity. It's bad.
It's crazy. I bet you the coach, I can't remember his name. He's got to be laughing his ass off right now. The guy that was there. What's his name?
Marvin Lewis.
Yeah. Marvin Lewis. He got to be laughing right now. Because he got into the playoffs every year.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, the one thing that kind of impressed me about Vick's run, again, like you said, it was in overtime, and, it's the theatrics of it. It's the visual, him running off the field. And like you said, the players running, and he got a commercial out of that shit. Like, it was just so. I think the less impressive thing about Lamar Jackson's run is you was up 28-3 at the time, so you can kind of try shit and kind of, you know what I'm saying. So as impressive as it was, there was nothing really on the line. If you spin and fumble and they return it for a touchdown, still up 28-10.
But you got to give him some points for the perfect quarterback rating, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I think that goes a lot into being with an organization who knows how to use you, and who has a stable, knowledgeable, legit coaching staff. It's not like they asking him to drop back 50 times a game and wing it. They putting him in good positions to get that quarterback rating. They drafted good tight ends. They, utilize him on the run. So, it's a perfect matchup. And I was talking to this dude at work today who said, the Ravens need to think about drafting a quarterback soon. Again, older white dude, who we talked about that earlier. It's that old school mindset. The Ravens think about drafting a quarterback soon. Now, he did say, I acknowledge how good Lamar Jackson is, but I just think he's going to get hurt at some point. They got to draft another quarterback.
Now, I was just thinking that, though. I think injury, like, I don't know how long it's going to last, Jay. I'm a fan now.
Right, and I'm getting there. And I do agree that I don't think it's sustainable. You ain't going to go 10 years with running this offense with him.
Yeah.
But I think, it's damn sure works what they're doing now better than dropping Joe Flacco back there, throwing him out there.
Yeah.
But I do think they went about this smartly, because what a lot of teams do is they go draft Lamar Jackson, and then they have, they keep Joe Flacco as a backup.
Yeah.
And so when something does happen, you got to completely change your offense.
Change the whole thing, They got RG3 back there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So at least, you can still be the same offense, definitely not as good, but you can still maintain a lot of the same concepts you have now. So, with that, I think, they went, again, like you said, it's kind of the benefits of going to a good team. They know what the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Stable organization.
Right. So I think they're going about this the right way. But when you have an MVP caliber quarterback, you don't go draft another one. That was my only thing. I don't think you go say they need to go draft a quarterback. Now, every 2-3 years, they may want to, like the Patriots do, go draft one in the 4th round, see if he sticks around as a backup, somebody who's similar in skill set to Lamar Jackson, and then you have your backup for the next decade. So yeah, I see that. But again, it's kind of easy when you're playing with house money. You're up 28-3. I ain't gonna say it's easy, but it's easier to do that when you're up 28-3 as opposed to the games on the line. And I'm about to send everybody home. So my nod will go to Vick as well. But like Al, I did go to YouTube, check out some highlights. Randall Cunningham has had some damn good plays.
The ones where he's leaping over.
Oh my God!
Goal lines.
Yeah. And the one where he was on the sideline and the dude hit him, and he kind of hit him. The dude hit him in the thigh, and it looked like he was going down, but he caught himself and got up and threw a laser touch. That shit was crazy.
I think that was Harry Carson against the Giants.
Yeah, it was Harry Carson. Yeah.
Me and you had knockdown dragon arguments because I love Vick, but I think Cunningham was better, and you were saying no, Vick is better, but I think Cunningham was better than Vick.
You think so?
Yes, I think it's kind of not even really easy. Can't even question it. He could literally sit back there and just pick you apart with his arm. He did it in his career.
Yeah,
and then he can turn around and run early. Go ahead.
Right. I'll put it this way. I think, because they both kind of had like two separate careers.
Yeah.
I think early when they were both young and running around and doing like crazy shit with their legs, I think Vick was better.
Okay.
I think later in their career when Randall went to the Vikings and he was like throwing for 4,000 yards, I think that Cunningham was better. And he could still run, but he was more prone to pick you apart and throw 40-yard bombs at that point. I think that Cunningham was better than Vick.
Yeah, I would definitely put Vick as a better runner. I think Randall was such a great athlete, especially in the era.
Yes.
And in the position. So I think, he was the first of these amazing athletes who is also going to play quarterback. And I don't think defenses had a clue. But I think runner for runner, I would put Vick.
And you got I'm looking at Randall Cunningham numbers now, like 3,800, 3,400, 3,400 in the era when you could just clothesline people.
You could pretty much grab and clutch receivers all the way down the field.
Yeah. And then running for 400 yards is like pales to what Vick was doing.
Yeah,
I guess better runner than I can't deny that.
But
he had a 900-yard. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong numbers. 1990, he rushed for 942 yards, and threw for 3,400. So I don't know. I still think
that's damn impressive.
That's damn impressive. 1990, when they was playing like real football. Excuse me, the old man on the porch now.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, either way, I would have been happy to have either one of them.
Oh yeah. I mean,
that's tough.
No doubt.
And,
I love it.
And either way, I take Warren Moon over both of them anyway, so it don't matter.
Hey, I want to put this in the atmosphere. Y'all got to do this for me. My new hero now, Deontay Wilder. He fights November 23rd,
Right.
Luis Ortiz number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hating that he's fighting Luis Ortiz again.
Right.
He should not do that.
Nope.
But I hope y'all gotta watch that fight. It's going to be awesome. I love it so much. I was looking at tickets and the pricing didn't work for me. Me and my wife was gonna go, but y'all gotta check that out. November 23rd.
All right.
Luis 2.
Absolutely. You ain't got to put that in the atmosphere. That's already in the atmosphere. Wilder's my guy.
Yes.
And I'm with you. I wish he wasn't fighting Ortiz again, because it's you never know what you're gonna get when you go out fighting 50-year-olds. That shit is crazy.
They don't know who I are.
I know.
I love them.
Yeah, I know. But Wilder's amazing.
Yes.
And I kind of, as much as I hate that old boy from London, what's his name, Anthony Joshua. I hate that he lost because I wanted Wilder to be the one to do it to him, but he got exposed, and I think it would have. I think Wilder would have beat the shit out of him anyway. But I'm excited to watch this. So
excited, scared to death.
All right. And after he beats Ortiz, I'm putting it out there. Maybe Tyson Fury can stop running, and he can get his vengeance from that bullshit draw.
Yeah. That was. He take another fight in between, but I don't want to go off on that subject.
Right.
11:23.
11:23. Yeah, it's crazy. I was looking at tickets too, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's like,
the nose
can't
was
do this.
250. I was there this morning. They've come down some.
They have, but they're gonna go back up.
Is it in Vegas? Where's it at?
It's in Vegas. It's at the MGM Grand.
Yeah.
And the rooms in the MGM like $100. They're
right.
cheap.
Yeah, the rooms are cheap, so they can get people there.
Cheap.
Right. I was looking, and so crazy, a couple months ago I had to buy my wife a car.
Wow.
And then so I knew that the minute I get her a car, my car is gonna start giving me problems, right? And what happens? I go to my sister's house the other week. On the way back, my car runs hot. I'm like, what the fuck? Some manifold shit, $1,200. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So,
that's like the tickets. Like I thought that floor seats was like $1,500.
Yeah,
that's your floor seats, bro.
Floor seats,
fuck that car.
Man,
get your
Uber. Right. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like all this shit starts happening with my car, and you know my car is old as fuck anyway. I'm gonna ride that shit till the wheels fall off. But then just the older a car is, the more maintenance it has. So now I think I'm gonna have to get a fucking car. So when I started looking at the fucking tickets, all I started thinking is I literally had a vision of me stuck on the highway after I get back from the fight on the way to work, kicking my car. So I couldn't do it.
Yo, maybe on the bucket list, because maybe we do this one day. This is on my bucket list. I want to go to a Vegas fight, like a real Vegas fight. Stay in the hotel and go to the fight. I'm about to save up, but I see the problem is Joshua. His fights are like affordable. It's like so floor seats like $1,500, and I see good seats like $600. Wow. So it's I don't know when this is gonna happen again though. Like when we're gonna be a boxer of this caliber in a good fight with these price tickets. You know what I mean? But this is on my bucket list.
I'm down. I'm with you.
All right.
We've been saying this Defy Life road trip and all this shit for a long time, so we got to do this shit.
That'd be awesome.
So we got to pick an event and pick it out and save up and go to it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know who it will be like for my mind is box. I don't want to be. I'm going to MMA. MMA would be cool. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Nah, I'm boxing.
Boxing all day. Okay. MMA is short. It could be over real quick. But just getting the who I don't know who will be the next on the,
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
we'll start eyeballing that shit. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into trivia, I wanted to ask y'all really quickly. I know it's still early, but the NBA season, we got enough games in. We can kind of get an idea. Teams in the NBA don't really come out of nowhere. Yeah, the Hawks are nice. I like the Hawks. But just really quickly, so kind of want to get an idea who you think your top 5 teams are. Pooh. What are we, like 10 games into the season? Any idea? Even if you got to stop at 3, who are your top teams in the league right now?
Jay, man, I would love to give you an answer for this.
I knew you. That's why I started with you.
I would love to give you an answer for this. But all I watch is the Bulls, and I know we're horrible. We have decent talent, but I don't know what Philman is doing. I don't know what type coach we have. I don't know what style he's coaching. I just don't know, man.
I know what type of coach y'all got. Temporary.
What's that?
Temporary. At least you ain't the Knicks, though.
Oh, God. Don't get Al started.
If the Knicks beat us the other night.
It's
we
still
beat
early.
them tonight. But
And then y'all beat them, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it's like they got chaos going on. They don't seem to know. Last year it was like they're going to get Kyrie and Durant, and then they get nobody, and now they just still the Knicks. But I'm not throwing shots at. I'm just literally
It's you missing me. I mean, you can throw the shots if you want because I'm ducking them. But I just feel, the Knicks, like it's still early. Like they got all these 7 new players on their team, so it's too early to claim it. I'm still watching them. I like Barrett. That's really
okay.
When I'm looking at the Knicks right now, I like Barrett. That's what I like to watch. I like to watch him play, and I think Mitchell Robinson has potential. I mean, who thought the Knicks was going too far this year? So I don't know where the Ross coming from. It's a developmental year. That's how I'm looking at it.
Okay.
But my answer, I like Boston, LA.
Which one?
The Lakers. The Lakers.
Okay. Is this in order?
In order. I'm going. I like. I mean, I would say it might be different next week, a month from now, but I've seen so far. I really like that combination of Kemba and those 2 young boys. I like that. The Lakers look amazing. I really like the way LeBron and AD, the chemistry that they're playing with.
I don't know how sustainable it is to have them like kind of leading the way for the whole season. So we got to see. Right, I got to see other people develop.
Well, Dwight Howard is damn sure helping out.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah.
As well as you could imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kuzma's going to get better as the season goes by.
Right.
Haven't seen Rondo. I mean, so it's a lot of gelling that still has to happen on their end. I think it's still early for them. I mean, because they got a lot of new players as well. Right. Maybe that's why AD and LeBron are carrying the load, because as these other guys fill in. But I also like how Denver and Toronto are playing. So those would be my 4 or 5. Okay. Boston, LA, Milwaukee, Denver, and Toronto.
Okay. All right. Keon, what say you? Who are your top 5 teams?
It's going to be the same list pretty much. In order: Lakers, Clippers, Rockets, Boston, and say Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my list. It's self-explanatory. I still think the Clippers are, especially when they get everybody going. I think that's the best team in the league, like deep. When when we get to the playoffs, I don't know how in the hell you're going to do anything with them. So
my only concern, I said this a couple weeks ago, my only concern with the Clippers is like
injury.
Injuries. You know, Paul George is always an injury concern, but them like shooting their wide and burning themselves out during the regular season, and not having enough left in the playoffs to compete with, because we've seen it the last 10 years. Like LeBron's teams have all kind of coasted through the regular season, and turned it up in the playoffs. I'm thinking the Clippers are kind of doing it the opposite way, and I'm thinking they may burn themselves out.
Why you say that? Because they're resting Kawhi. Oh, so check this out. There's some psychology. Check out how LeBron's like,
right.
You noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to get Kawhi to stop resting so much.
Right.
But if they ignores that shit, he's resting. So I don't understand. What do you mean? Like
I'm saying they're supporting cast, because they get the Clippers so far have kind of been up and down, and they get up for these big, like they treat early season games against big teams like playoff games. So they getting they expelling all this energy to like prove, we better than the Lakers. Oh shit, we better than so that they go against Boston and they get up for that game, and then it's like Kawhi rests against the lower teams, and then they get up. So it's kind of like this roller coaster. I think they're just going to expel a lot of energy. I don't know.
Emotionally.
Yeah, right. So we'll see. I don't know. And that's just hard to sustain through an entire season, like these roller coasters. I think LeBron's kind of mastered the kind of build up to the playoffs, as opposed to this emotional roller coaster throughout the season. So
it's like, and nobody said nothing about the Rockets. We all think they fugazi, right?
No, I like the Rockets. I don't know, man. It's just, again, regardless of who you put in that uniform, it's kind of like we talked about earlier with the Jets and the Browns. Who you put in that uniform, it don't matter to the Rockets at this point. I just want to see it happen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We know they're going to be entertaining. They're going to win a bunch of games in the regular season. I want to see it happen in the playoffs. So,
don't we all? But we got
right.
12 months to get there.
Yeah, right. So, in the meantime, we just got the NFL to keep us satiated.
Yeah.
So, all right. Y'all ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
Shit, it's the first time we done had trivia started before 2 hours in and forever. Proud of y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going old school. We're going with a list. I have in front of me, and this is completely non-sports related. I have in front of me the top 25 vehicle sellers in the United States for 2019 through September. Okay? So, as always, you give me the name of a vehicle you think is in the top 25 in unit sales. And this is not including fleet sales like rental cars and all that stuff. So just personal vehicle sales. You give me a name, you stay in. If you lose, you're out.
Make 'em up.
and make and model. Yes. And this does not. There's no points involved, Pooh and Al. So if you it's just strictly you out, you out. All right.
It's okay.
It's gonna go quick.
Gerald's not on the call, so y'all won't be making those rules up as we go along.
And once you out, go mute. That's my new rule.
True. Say no more.
That's funny. No refereeing from the side.
Right. You lose, go put on a striped shirt. That don't happen. Go work at Foot Locker. All right. So who damn. And as I so eloquently stated last week, Pooh and Al finished butt naked last week. So I don't even know who goes first.
I went out
Keon's
before
going
Al.
last. Yeah, I know. Pooh, you finished last. So Al, you first, then Pooh, then Keon. Keon got to re-earn his stripes.
That's all right.
Okay, so I'm going with a Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Honda Accord is 11th on the list. All right. Pooh, on you.
Let me say Dodge Ram.
Dodge Ram is number 2 on the list.
Oh, okay. So, Pooh gave me an idea. It's Ford F-150.
Yes. I already know.
Ford F-Series is number 1.
Yeah.
All right. Al?
That's all I know. Let's go. Shit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Toyota Corolla.
Toyota Corolla is number 10 on the list.
Okay.
All right. Pooh?
All right. A Chevy Silverado.
That's what I was going to say.
Chevy Silverado is number 3. I think y'all starting to get the reason I asked this question. All right. Keon?
I'm going to go with, Pooh took mine, so I'm going to go with the GMC, which one? Yukon. Hell, I don't know.
Yukon is not on the list.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
All right. Back
Who
to
made
you,
it?
Al.
Who makes the Yukon?
GMC.
2 of them make Yukons, isn't it? Just the GMC? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been looking at them. I know.
Yeah.
Let me do the Toyota Camry.
Toyota
Yeah.
Camry is number 7.
Choice.
All right. All right. Pooh? Oh, and you cannot win. You cannot win on the wrong answer. So if Pooh gets one
Okay.
wrong, Al, you got to get it right to win.
Okay. Let me try a Dodge Charger.
Dodge Charger is not on the list. No, sir.
Oh, wow.
All right, Al, for the win.
Wow.
Let me go. Let me stay Japanese. Honda Civic.
Honda Civic is number 8 on the list.
Yeah.
Al, you win. Yeah, congrats, sir. So yeah, the reason I did ask this question is because
Freak.
a lot of the car industry is shifting, and a lot of car companies are going away from family sedans, and because they're not selling as well as pickups and compact SUVs at this point.
Yeah.
So you'll notice through this list, as we said, starting at number 1, the Ford F-Series. Second was the Ram. Third is the Silverado. And fourth, you have the Toyota RAV4. 5 is the Honda CR-V. 6 is the Nissan Rogue. 7 is the Camry. 8 was the Civic. 9 is the Chevy Equinox. 10 is the Corolla. 11 is the Accord. 12 is the Ford Escape. 13 is the Toyota Tacoma, the smaller pickup. 14 is the Jeep Grand Cherokee. 15 is the Toyota Highlander. 16th is the Jeep Wrangler. 17 was the GMC Sierra.
Sierra. I couldn't think of the damn truck. Sierra.
18 is the Nissan Altima. 19 is the Jeep Cherokee, the smaller one. 20 is the Nissan Sentra. 21 was the Subaru Outback. 22 is the Ford Fusion. 23 is the Subaru Forester. 24 is the Hyundai Elantra, which outsells the Sonata. I never would have thought that. And 25th is the Ford Explorer.
Wow.
Right.
I didn't even think about any of those.
Right.
So there's a lot I would never guess.
Yeah. So going are the days where it was like the top three were like Accord, Camry, and Maxima. Like remember that?
Right.
Yeah. So, but if we include like fleet sales, like rental car sales, stuff like that, the Impala is at the top of the list.
Okay. Police probably too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, congrats, Al. You won. Parting shot. What you got for me, sir?
Parting shot. Tomorrow starts the impeachment hearing.
Oh yeah.
So I recommend people pay attention. I recommend people have an open mind and make the decisions based on what we learn as we hear like real testimony, and then after that, I say we pick a side and kind of go from there. But I'm looking forward to like really just learning and trying to see if our president really did abuse his power, which I suspect, and then does it, rise to the point where he needs to be removed.
All right.
Yeah.
No doubt. Pooh, what you got for me?
Man, I have happy birthday to my late grandma. Happy birthday to my guy Los, and congratulations to Los on his brand new baby girl.
Oh, congrats, Los.
So yeah. So I'll wrap it up with that.
All right. Keon, what you got for me?
Parting shot. I'll do this quick. It's a quick story, right? So 2008, I started working at Georgia Pacific, right? I met this guy. He started out as a welder. Like in the early 80s, he actually had helped build the plant, and he worked his way up to becoming a plant manager. So anytime you come to the plant, you see him out, in the plant, looking under machines and, fixing stuff. And, he's always out in the plant working. Well, one day the regional manager came out and called him in the office and said, it's fine that you want to hang out in the plant all day, but while you're doing that, I'm going to hire me a plant manager to come run the plant and to be out there, running around. So if you want to run the plant, then you need to do it the whole plant and not to be out here, fixing machines that break down and showing people how to run it. I say that when my mind thinks about Dan Quinn, fucking defensive coordinator that becomes a head coach, then decides he wants to be a defensive coordinator again. Meanwhile, in the first week of the playoffs, first week of the season, the Falcons get a punt block because they're not lined up correctly. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking they don't know who the kicker is. I'm thinking if the head coach had been focused on the entire team and not just the defense, he might have been walking around the special teams, during practice and say, hey, you guys aren't lined up right. Maybe you should be doing this or doing that. You would be looking at the entire operation and not just one part of it, which you're not even doing that good. But last Sunday, I don't know if y'all noticed, but he quit calling the defensive plays, and then the Falcons don't give up a touchdown like the first time this season. Yeah. So that's neither here nor there. My point is, if you're going to run a business, you need to run the entire business and not just one part of it, because other parts of the business will suffer. That goes for football, that goes for money-making operations or whatever. But that's my parting shot. Dan Quinn, goddamn it. I think he figured it out, but it might be too late. 2-7.
Yeah. Damn good point, though. Yeah, damn good point. And, I think they kind of shifted the entire coaching staff around. And did a bunch of shifts. So,
1-7, they changed it up. Yeah.
Right. I ain't got nothing crazy. Tomorrow also starts the Byron Allen Supreme Court hearing. So everyone, please pay attention to that, and because this could be huge, not only in the entertainment realm, but as far as civil rights are concerned. So it's not really on us to take a side, because I think history has shown us what side we should be on, and humanity shows us what side we should be on. But it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and see how far Comcast and the Time Warner are willing to take this. Because if they're willing to essentially shift their roles of civil rights back, over 50 years, we're going to see how far they're willing to take it. So everybody pay attention to that. And we might, I'm going to put y'all on the spot right now. Next week, of course, is Thanksgiving week. Are we going to have a show next week?
I thought Thanksgiving the 28th.
I'm sorry, in 2 weeks. I mean, I kind of want to give everybody time to plan.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I meant to say in 2 weeks. So are we, we're going to be on next week, but are we going to give the people a show on Thanksgiving week, or are we going to be traveling and stuff like that? Because I kind of want to let them know next week what we're going to be doing the following week.
I'm not going anywhere, so I'll be here. So I'm open.
Yeah, I'm not traveling till Wednesday. So.
Okay, same here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know. I might be in South Carolina, but either way, I got internet either way. So.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna be here through the holidays, y'all. So that's all we got. Hope y'all enjoy again the condensed show. We at 2 hours and 1 minute. I'm gonna stop talking so we can give y'all some time back. Yeah. Again, this has been Defy Life Podcast, episode 133. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life. Peace.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.